delighted to be here for this wonderful event, and I would like to first thank all my partners who have started this, starting with Maurice, who did a really wonderful job, and I would like also to thank 𝗕𝗘𝗚𝗟𝗏, who is a partner of this. And 𝗕𝗘𝗚𝗟𝗏, which is #1 newspaper for economy, is very good for startup. It is the only one newspaper who is doing an article every day on the startups, which I encourage you to read, obviously. So this event, which started first edition 1 year ago, is beyond expectation. I was told that yesterday we had 20,000 visitors, and it's only the second edition. So it's a remarkable success for this world-class event, and I hope in the future it will continue to attract a lot of new entrepreneurs who are passionate about creativity, innovation, and technology. So when last year Francis Morel, manager of 𝗕𝗘𝗚𝗟𝗏 Group, came to me to ask should we do it, I immediately say yes, in spite of the difference between what is this event and what we are usually doing. So what did I say yes? First of all, it's because I am an engineer, and I have always been passionate about technology. And for me to be in touch with startups, technology startup, has always been a passion. I have invested in many of them with variable success, but globally it was, and it still is, a fantastic experience. But why LVMH, which is a large group by French standard? The originality here in this event, I think, is that we mix startups with large companies. And so it's so important for these startups to have the backing, the experience of larger companies, that I think the format is new and very efficient. So I agreed also immediately for LVMH. And you know, LVMH, I said, is a large group by French standard. Today, believe it or not, we are #1 on the French market cap here. But I think by international standards, it's still very small. So I used to say to my team, we are still very small, we are still like a startup, and I will be happy when we have maybe 2 or 3 times that market cap. So we'll see if we can get it. This being said, LVMH has always been in touch with startups for a very long time. We are a group of companies, 70 brands, and I will just give you 2 or 3 examples of startups that have been built inside the group. The first one I would like to mention is Christian Dior. In 1947, Christian Dior, who was completely unknown, was not a technologist, but a fashion designer, obviously, but he was completely unknown, and he started his first collection and became instantly worldwide recognized, without internet, without almost television and anything. So for this startup, it was an instant success, and it continues today. where Christian Dior is maybe the most recognizable and the most well-known fashion name in the world. Closer from us, but it took a long time to build over these 70 years, and we are celebrating for Christian Dior next month in the Palais du Louvre the 70 years of his creativity, and I invite all of you to visit. Second example, more recent, is Sephora. We bought Sephora in 1998, and at the time, Chris can say it, he was not there, but he knows, it was a startup with only a few shops. And a lot of people thought we were crazy to do it. But we bought it, and then we tried to build it, and today, a little more than 15 years after, it's the #1 seller worldwide of beauty products, and it's also a very, very successful internet e-tailer. For instance, we are #1 in the US for beauty products selling on the internet, far above any competitors. I don't know if we can call Amazon a competitor, but in any case, we are above them. And it's continuing, and I think if you go to San Francisco, I invite you to see our team there, which may be one of the best e-retail group I know on the planet. And third example, I will be quick. Third example, closer from today, is the Fondation Louis Vuitton. And it took us also a long time to build, and against a lot of criticism. But after 10 years, we were able to open it in 2014, and it's a startup, and already a big success. Last exhibition that we presented there is the largest attended ever exhibition in Paris. So it's just to show you that the group, the LVMH group, in spite of its size, is very, very startup-minded. And I think it's part of our culture. Our culture is based mainly on creativity. And in a startup, the major reason for success at the beginning is to have an idea, a creative idea, an innovative idea that is really putting the company with an advance to everybody else. It should be, to be successful, a game changer. But it's not enough. I think almost as important as the idea at the beginning is the execution, and the fact that building on the idea must be really very professional, very efficient, and that also makes a difference. I have seen a lot of startups with very interesting ideas, but with also some other competitors almost with the same ideas. But only one or two of them are successful. It's because the execution of their business plan. So it's key. We have a lot of expertise to manage starting companies. Just after this meeting, I go, for instance, to the LVMH Prize for Fashion, where we select also young talents that are just beginning in fashion, and we are going to help them in the future, at least the winners for the long term. So it's really for us a passion to work with startups, and I am very glad to be in a country where now it's possible really to be confident in the future of the economy, of free enterprise, and that a country that is welcoming companies from outside France and with a very good spirit We heard yesterday our president speaking of France like a startup, that it should be managed like a startup, is what he said, and believing very much in the future of the economy of France and ready to give the economy a lot of push. And this is something that is extremely motivating for every French entrepreneur. Because in France, we have a lot of talent. One of them for the startup is the scientific schools. I know that maybe in France, we have the best scientific talents in our scientific schools. I have myself a son who is in a school, scientific school, doing an internship in artificial intelligence in a tech company in the US. And I see from his friends there how much valued is the French education in science. So that's one aspect of France for the future, which I think make us very attractive. This combined with a very open country now, very dynamic and very attractive for any kind of business. This makes us and makes me very confident. So I am convinced that the winner of our prize will have a bright future, especially if it starts, like I think it's the case, from here. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you again next year.